Every so often I watch Roman Holiday in the hope that some of Gregory Peck playing Joe Bradley's luck might rub off on me. Not being even remotely romantic, I watch it for the possibility that in the intervening decades the film may magically have a different ending where Bradley does choose to publish his exclusive story about Princess Anne, played by Audrey Hepburn. That's how a little romantic and so much a journalist I am. I watched the movie again yesterday, perhaps my 600th time, give or take 550. I wrote a piece on June 23rd, 2015, drawing parallels or lack thereof in my real life as a journalist and Bradley's Hollywood life. It involved me, a wire correspondent, and Princess Anne. Sort of. Here it is. I called it my lay holiday. As a perpetually penurious print journalist, brilliant alliteration by the way, the 1953 Roman Holiday is the ultimate press romcom. Having watched it a greater number of times than I care to remember or count over the last 45 years, I'm yet to find any parallels in my own professional life. There is the penury, of course, that's there. Other than that, there has been no Peckin suave or Hepburnian elegance in my life. I did, in fact, once work for a wire service better known as IANS, like Joe Bradley's American News Service, or ANS. I was missing from ANS in the movie. I began watching the movie again last night in the hope that the plot might have changed on its own in the last 73 years. I have often wondered what if movies were organic in the sense that over a period of time they changed their plots on their own, evolved into something that their makers did not intend. What if they were intelligent enough to change their storylines from time to time? That's a separate subject for some other time. There has been only one assignment in my hard news career spanning over 45 years now, which had me follow a princess. It was Princess Anne, the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip and sister of now King Charles. I use these useless honorifics purely as identifiers. She was visiting Leh in Ladakh region of India in the late 1980s. I think it was 1989, as a patron of the Save the Children charity. I was reporting her visit for IANS. Princess Anne was no Princess Anne of Roman Holiday, and I was no Joe Bradley of the same film. She did not have the Hepburnian elegance, nor I the Peckin suave. It strikes me even as I narrate this that I too had my Princess Anne moments, minus the subtle romance or even any access whatsoever. The setting was Leh, which is at the altitude of 3,524 meters or 11,562 feet. One feels breathless at the height, not because of any feminine beauty in front of you, but because of the thin air. Anne was not a reluctant princess like Hepburn's Anne, and seemed to enjoy the life she was born into. Royal reporters and photographers who accompanied her from London took down every detail of her royal paraphernalia, including her hats and luggage and hat boxes. She looked proper at all times. Her smile was finely rehearsed and deportment impeccable. She looked like someone accustomed to deference from the world for no apparent reason. The thing with the movies about journalists and newspaper is that for those of us living that life for a living, the plot never quite unfolds the way it does on the big screen. For Anne, it was a sort of holiday, and for me, an assignment. Unlike Bradley, I was not likely to miss my event because I was in a real life situation with the prospects of being fired for missing a story being very real. For Gregory Peck, Joe Bradley, it was just a movie assignment and did not run away from the palace to experience a life free of regimental royal encumbrances. And I certainly did not promise my wire service any exclusives. There was none to be had other than talking about how charming her hat boxes were. I wrote several inconsequential stories about the visit, during which she did not hold forth on the future of Europe or the world because she had no authority to do that. Unlike Joe Bradley and Princess Anne of Roman Holiday, this Anne and I did not have ice cream together. She was blissfully unaware of my presence. For the record, I was too preoccupied with the awe inspiring beauty of Leigh to really notice much of her either. That's how I spent my Leigh holiday.